Well, I'm joined now by Kat Bevan from CREST. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about CREST.
So CREST is the Centre for Research into Environmental Science and Technology, and we are based at University Centre Shrewsbury in Frankwell, which is a campus of the University of Chester. And CREST was set up in 2018 as part of an ERDF funded project to provide free support to businesses in Shropshire and Telford Wrekin. And our main aim is that we help businesses who want to innovate or complete research and development, ideally to try and develop new products or services or processes. And we focus specifically on the small and medium-sized businesses or startups in the county who may not have the resources to do research and development themselves. So they come to us and then we can provide that for them.
And what type of facilities have you got then?
So we have got a lab in University Centre Shrewsbury in town, and that has a variety of different equipment. We have got a lab technician who works in that lab, and he would complete the work for any companies. And the sort of things that he can do, we can do non-destructive analysis of materials to find out what they consist of. So that can be looking at, I don't know, pottery, metals, clays, anything like that. He can also do that with water and actually find out what the water components are, to find out what minerals are in the water, to find out if there's any contamination in the water. We can look at particle size distribution within materials, and that's particularly useful for manufacturing because it can show how spread out the particles are, and that sort of demonstrates the quality of the product. So it can prove the efficiency, I suppose, of the manufacturing and find out if they are actually getting value for money in how they're manufacturing the product and then what the final product is.
And what type of businesses are you using your facilities?
It's a huge range, really. We have a complete mix, whether it's sort of manufacturing businesses, construction, environmental consultants, you know, a massive range of businesses. A lot of really small sort of one-person businesses come to us for support. I'm trying to think of recent examples of things that we've done. We've done recently collected soil samples for a company who wants to launch a new product or services actually to do with monitoring carbon storage.
Okay.
So we sort of used a bit of a two-pronged attack. So we took samples of the soil and then in the lab that was analysed, and they did something called loss on ignition, where you work out the amount of vegetation in the soil, which demonstrates the amount of carbon that's being stored in the soil. And then we also used our drones to see if they could, just from flying over, using their variety of cameras, they've got infrared cameras, all sorts of different things, to see if using them they could actually monitor the amount of carbon in the soil without physically having to touch the soil. So it's kind of to see what works best really for the company.
Well, I think we've got a video and we're going to take a look now about one business that has used the lab facilities.
Our business is called Worm Soil. We help gardeners and growers increase the yield from their plants, have a better root system, and just have healthier plants in general. And we do this by improving their soil using a product called vermicast. Now, vermicast is effectively the byproduct of worms when they go through organic material, and that product is full of microorganisms, which really helps plants grow better whilst improving soil conditions. There's a lot of research done internationally on the power of vermicast, but very little of it is done in the UK. There's very little material on evidence of growth due to vermicast in the UK. So we reached out to CREST so that we could get that educational institute approval, almost, that vermicast works, and also start looking at how people can start using artificial free or peat free products in their gardens or in their commercial businesses as well. The partnership with CREST has enabled us to achieve a part of our business plan. Our business plan included adding educational institutes to our own business to actually give credibility to our product. And that credibility from CREST is significant to our business because we can approach gardeners and growers and explain how our product works in the UK, having that evidence from the work that CREST has done for us. Working with CREST will make a significant financial impact in our business, and it goes back to the credibility aspect of having that seal of approval from a educational research institute. And that's because we now have evidence of how vermicast, or our product worm soil, works with plants in the UK, and that then can be explained to gardeners and growers as well. Other firms should really take advantage of these facilities because the importance of sharing knowledge is key for any business to grow nowadays. You can't just grow by yourself. You need to have help from all kind of institutions, but also educational ones, because especially if you're launching a new product or a product that no one has heard of before, you need that support so that not only can the educational institute provide that seal of approval, but also it allows the educational institute to grow and develop further and share knowledge that they have from other products as well, which is something we've found invaluable from CREST.
Well, they have some facilities, Kat.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, they're impressive.
Brilliant. So tell us a little bit more about what CREST offers.
So the sort of main reason that we're based in the university is because we've got access to academics. So we've got that academic expertise that a business itself might not have. So I suppose that's the kind of overarching offer that we have is experts in the field that can support businesses. But we also have a lot of other facilities. As I mentioned previously, we've got the drones, 3 different sized drones, meaning that we can sort of get into maybe slightly enclosed areas, slightly more difficult areas. We've got 2 pilots now to fly the drones, so that's sort of we just kind of relaunched that as an offer, and they're working with a couple of businesses at the moment. We can do things like a business model canvas. As I said earlier, we're supporting businesses who are hoping to launch a new product or service, and often that can be there at the very early stages.
Yeah,
and
it'd be quite early on in the business's future.
Yeah,
isn't it, really?
as we don't have any actual money to give, it's often they've just had an idea, and they sort of come to us and say, is this a good idea? Is this feasible? Yeah. Our business development team can work with them to do a business model canvas, which helps them
That's
work
quite a lot of help then for that business.
Yeah, definitely, because that's often the challenge, isn't it? You've got a great idea, but it's kind of
maybe viable. Can it go ahead? So
so they'll kind of say, actually, and people don't always think about that. Actually, how are they going to make money from it? And it takes someone outside maybe to say, oh, but you haven't considered this. You haven't considered actually paying yourself a salary. How are you going to? So we can do that and often just say, make these couple of tweaks, and it might be, it's just a suggestion. We're not saying that we're experts in everything, but just having that different point of view.
It's kind of holding someone's hand, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We are about to launch a new service, which will be our life cycle analysis.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that then.
Which basically is a database software program, which means that we can look at a product and basically look at the environmental impact of that product based on whatever it's made up of. So you can almost look at the whole supply chain of a product and see what environmental impact is of
and this is something that obviously now it's becoming bigger. We're hearing about it more in the news. We're more conscious ourselves, and obviously businesses are having to become more conscious about it. Yeah,
definitely. A lot of businesses are trying to reduce their environmental impact, trying to improve their environmental credentials. So we think it's going to be really, really useful services that we think a lot of businesses, particularly maybe manufacturing businesses, will take us up on.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So tell me a little bit then, how can businesses get in touch with you?
So the best way is to go on our website, which is crest@ucs.com.
Brilliant. And they can get in touch with you and hopefully have a bit of a future with you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kat. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.